Hello again, everybody. This is Dr. Deborah. All right, I get those out of the way. Maybe I won't say them so much when I'm talking. How to love is the most difficult thing you will ever do in your life. I'm discovering that over and 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 over again. But it is so worth it. I just finished reading Will, and he tells so many great stories, but the one that hangs on to me is the one where he created this fantastical, transcendent, overwhelming weekend for Jada's 40th birthday party. And she was not impressed. And his whole reason for living was to impress her and make her proud of him and to make her happy. But she wasn't. Everybody else was, but she wasn't. So as I gave that some thought, I thought about the whole thing with love. And I read the book, and he was being honest and straightforward, but he kept on making the same mistakes and trying to please people. And he knew that's what he was doing, but he could not stop himself because his heart, his need was to be appreciated and to appreciate others. So she was not appreciative. Now, I was getting, what brought me to this post is I was getting upset with him for doing a thing that he knew was not, that he should have known was not going to work because it had not worked before in any other relationships, not with his dad, not with anybody. As I was sharing this with a friend of mine, I was pissed. I was bothered with him. I said to myself, now you know that doesn't work. Why do you keep doing that? That's what I'm getting mad at him for doing what he can't help but do. And then as I made the whole circle of who was mad and who was blaming who was blaming whom, I thought about Jada. Let me just start with the love. I'll start with myself. I wasn't loving him because I was blaming him. I was upset with him for doing the thing that he kept doing that wasn't working. Okay. And then when I heard myself saying that to my friend, then I realized that I wasn't loving him. And then I took it further and I said, okay, he wasn't loving Jada because if he were, he wasn't loving Jada because if he were, then he would not have done the thing that he knew was not going to work for her over and over and over and over again. He kept on doing it and it wasn't working. And so he wasn't loving her. Now, add to that, she wasn't loving him because she was so caught up in what's important to her that she didn't allow herself to think that this is what he does, this is what he needs, this is why he does what he does, which she didn't care. So I didn't care about what I knew about him. He didn't care about what he knew about her, and she didn't care about what she knew about him. So nobody was loving anybody in this whole scenario. The whole point of this is it is the most difficult thing you will ever do. And if you are interested at all in knowing how to love somebody, then you need to learn, we need to learn how to do what we want done for us, and that is to be considered. So in that story I just shared, nobody considered anybody else. Nobody accepted anyone else because that's what love is. That's what radical acceptance is love. You hear me? So it is an ongoing practice. Sometimes you hit it, sometimes you miss it. But if your goal is to really love someone right where they are, then you consider them. Now let me repack this, okay? So what should, and I put in quotes, what would have been more useful to have happened if he would have said, you know what? She doesn't like extravagant stuff. She really likes simple things. That's how life is for her. That's what she likes. So let me scale this back, keep it intimate, keep it small, keep it meaningful, and that will be something she would love and appreciate. That's one scenario. The other scenario is he did exactly what he did, and then her goal would have been, okay, this is what's important to him. He loves, fantastical, over the top stuff. That's what he does. So let me be appreciative for what he offers because that's where he is. Okay? Him honoring where she is, he's honoring where he is. And then me honoring where he was, because I was getting pissed off with him just like she was. Me honoring the fact that I use this metaphor all the time. 2-year-olds do what 2-year-olds do. And that may sound condescending, it may sound diminishing, but the point is, at that developmental stage in a 2-year-old's life, they throw tantrums. They deliberately press against the system, mess on themselves, knowing they know how to go to the toilet. Won't they do what they do? They call them terrible twos. I call it terrific twos, because they're trying to teach you something. So here, in order to love the way you want to be loved, let me take that back. In order to love, because the goal here is to give it without expecting it to come back to you from that person. It comes back where it comes back. Okay, you get it the way you get it. You got to be open to that, or else you will always be upset with somebody, blaming somebody else, frustrated with someone else. It's something that you give without expecting anything back, just for the heart of it, for the love of it, for the radical acceptance of it. I think I've beat this dead horse enough. I will end my time with you on this post with that, and a breath.